Hi everybody, this is another N DA BED review. The vehicle that you see here is the LOSI TEN-T 10 scale truggy. I decided to do 10 scale truggy racing. I do have a LOSI 8 2.0, but fortunately any of the tracks that they are on the tri-state area of New York, as far as I know, none of them they race 8 scale, so I decided to do the 10 scale racing with the 10 scale truggy. And I know this another truggy out there, the Hyper 10 TT from OFNA, but I'm more of a LOSI guy. I like the LOSI quality and performance, so I decided to get this truggy. Now, as many as you know, this truggy from the factory, it comes as a nitro vehicle, and obviously, you know, you cannot run nitro in indoor track. So, as you can see in this truck, there's something missing in the back, and that thing that's missing is, you know, that dirty ass nitro engine. I replace it with something better. I put a conversion kit from RC Monster. This is the electric conversion kit for the LOSI TEN-T. So you can see they comes with a motor mount for the electric motor, so you can put, you know, pretty much any 550, or you can put any other larger motor, you know, like the ones that comes on the Mamba from Castle, or you can use the large Tegan system or the accelerating from LOSI in here. But I choose to use the 550 motor. The one that I have over here right now is the Novak HB motor. It's a 4.5 turn. I think this is the right size and the right power for this motor. You know, for the scale, I think, you know, this is perfect. You know, it's not too large, it's not too small, to just give you the right amount of torque that you need. The speed control that I installed over here to work with the motor, you cannot really see it because it got the speed control holder for snapping RC. This is the Mamba Pro. This is a 10 scale speed control, but it's designed to handle all the way up to 6 cells lipo. So I guess this speed control is powerful enough to handle the power from the 550 motor, you know, the power demand. So, you know, that works for me. The servo is a Futaba 9350. This servo offers you over 140 ounces of torque at 12 seconds. So I believe this is the right size servo for this type of truck. And I'm using right now the LOSI, this for the 8 scale, the metal servo arm, but it works fine on the LOSI TEN-T. It gives you the right steering geometry on this truck. To power the truck, I'm using the max amp 7.4 2 cell 150C race edition pack. This hard pack. I believe that on this scale, if you're running 3 cell or even 4 cell, it's overkill for the racetrack, especially indoor track that normally they are smaller than the outdoor track. So you don't need that much power, you know. Right now, this truck with the electronics that you see here, I got it the way I got it geared up. It's geared up with 18 pinion gear and 52 spur gear, 32 pitch, and I'm doing 32 miles per hour. That for me, for the track, that's fast enough. Even on an outdoor track, you know, you can have vehicles that they do 40, 50 miles per hour. When you're on the track, you're not going to be running that fast anyway. So you just need to get the right, you know, power to weight ratio, you know, the right size of battery, and it's all about, you know, tune the vehicle right and have, you know, the skills, you know, to win the races. So, you know, 3 cell, 4 cell lipo. I saw people that use 4 cell lipos on this truck. For me, that's good if you go to a huge parking lot, you put some foam tires, and you want to do, you know, like speed passes, you know, and clock, you know, see, you know, how fast your truck will do. But for the track, that's overkill. You know, I wouldn't put a 4 cell for racing over here. It's just a waste of time. Pretty much this truck is stock, other than the conversion kit that comes with a motor mount and the battery mount that looks pretty much like the battery mount that comes on the LOSI 8 conversion kit. So these people from RC Monster, they did a great job doing the conversion. When you do the conversion on this truck, the only thing that you have to do is just cut the radio tray, because it comes also with the battery compartment, and you don't need that because that's where the motor goes. So you just have to cut it, and pretty much it's going to look like the 8-scale conversion. All you need is the servo mount and the receiver box. That's the only thing that you keep, and everything else you just cut it away. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the conversion. But it comes with everything you need to have, like a factory fit, conversion on the truck. They did, kudos to these people from RC Monster. They did a great job. When it comes to the tires on this truck, I decide to not use the factory size tires on this truck, because honestly they're really lame. I mean, they're about the size of the Traxxas Jado type of rim and tire. But the problem is those kinds of that type of size only, when it comes to tires, most of the tires on the market out there, they are like for bashing. And since I racing this truck, there's not that many tires for racing that you can choose for this truck. Actually, LOSI only got 2 tires that are for racing. One is the taper pins, and the other ones are the Eclipse. I heard they're good, but if you use bucket rims, you got like a wide range of tires to choose from. The ones that I got right now, I put the Proline split 6 8-scale rims, and they look really nice, because I don't want this thing to look too much like a 8-scale buggy. So I put this type of rim just to give it a distinctive look. And I'm using the Barcodes tires from J Composites. These tires, I heard a lot of people that they are great in indoor clay tracks, so that's why I decided to put these tires. To mount these tires on this truck, I had to replace the hub. This truck comes with a 14mm hub. It's just like the same ones that you will find on many Traxxas vehicles, like the E-Max and Slayer. And I replaced it with 17mm conversion. The thing is, this conversion not everybody makes conversions for this truck that they fit. So the only company that I saw that make a conversion for this truck, they said the direct fit is named M2C Racing, and that's the company that made this conversion over here. And as you can see, there's like a smaller nut that I put in there. I did it because one downside of this conversion is it gets too much it does too much play in there with the conversion. I didn't like that. So you can see also the stud of the threads sticking out, and it doesn't look nice. So I put these nuts over here, and now it's a little bit more stiffer. There's no more play, and it looks nicer. See that stud sticking out, the threaded stud. So it works really nice and neat. That's all you need to do with the conversion, to make it work, the right way. Besides these tires, I got 2 other sets of tires that I'm planning to use on this truck. This one that I got here, it's the Offna, foam tires. I'm planning to do some speed passes on this truck, go to a large parking lot. I got a 4-cell battery that I use on my 8-scale truck. That I'm gonna use it with this tire. It's this Max M 4-cell 6500 pack. It fits perfectly on the truck. The people from RC Monster, they did a great job with the designing of the battery holder. So pretty much you can put any battery you can imagine on this truck. So this battery just fits right. So this is only to do on-road speed passes. I don't plan to run off-road with this. Another thing that I got is the tires that I'm gonna use on the outdoor track. Now, these tires, they are a little bit, you know, it's gonna be a little bit of controversy with these tires because as you can see, they are short course tires. Okay, the short course tires. You see the rim is smaller on the front, on the back is larger. Okay, this is the Goosebumps from the J Concepts. Now, as you can see, there might be short course tires, but you see in the center, it got a large hole. That means because these tires, they work on 17 millimeter. These rims work on 17 millimeter axles, so they're designed for big. You know, that you can put on buggies, you can put on that. Actually, these rims that were designed for the SCA. The company that made these rims is DE Racing, and they are designed to work on the SCA, but you got the same dimensions that you will find on any short course tires. So any short course tires will fit here perfectly. So, but they said they're also designed for people that put, you know, 17 millimeter adapters on their 10 scale, you know, short course trucks. So you don't have to, you know, get rid of the adapters to put the legal size tires. You can just use this rims, and you can use the legal size tires. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, you're still using the 17 millimeter adapters. That's the beautiful thing about the tires. You know, so I plan to use these tires on the when the outdoor season starts. I plan to use the tires. Couple of final things that I did on this truck, just to conclude the video, is I put a temperature gauge back here. This is a temperature gauge from Venom. I know a lot of people that use handheld temperature gauges, and they are nice, but the nice thing about this one is this one memorizes the highest temperature that it registers, so you can retrieve that information. So when you finish the race, you don't have to, you know, run immediately to the truck and find out, you know, how high the motor went, because it's very important to keep the motor within, you know, the safe, you know, temperature, because you don't want to burn it. You know, I burned motors before, so you know, you better be safe than sorry. And you can get this on eBay for like 20 bucks. So you know, 20 bucks that can save you to lose a motor that would cost over $100. So you know what, I think it's better, like I said, it's better be safe than sorry. Yeah, the other thing that I put on this truck was this skid plate over here. It's made by the same people that made those rims that I just showed before. It's DE Racing, and they give you 3 of these skid plates on the same pack. That are really cheap. They got their own eBay store, so you can go to eBay and check it out. It's DE Racing. I also installed optional springs. This is the gold springs that are harder than the factory ones. I'm gonna be doing, you know, a lot of racing with this truck, so you gotta set up this truck the right way if you want to perform. So I put these rims, you know, all around the truck just to get the right performance. I got also the transponder for NAMD, and this transponder, you know how it is, you know, it just make your life easy. You don't have to mess around, you know, using the house transponder. And finally, to finish the video, everything gets controlled on this truck with my 4PK radio, and it's a little bit pricey, but it gets the job done. You know, it's for me, I believe it's probably the most advanced 2.4 technology out there, the Futaba Fast. So you know, it gets you, you know, great performance. Okay, so please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Okay, so have a good one, everybody. Bye.